Hi, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us here today in the Pulse panel room. Thanks again also to Tom Costantino for joining us, co-producer from the Orville. So thank you for joining us here virtually for Dublin Comic Con. We were just saying before the recording, it's been a big week for you all as season
Yeah.
3 New Horizons has just come to a close, streaming here on Disney Plus over here in Ireland at the moment. So how are you guys all holding up now at the moment, bringing things to a wrap?
Well, it's a little weird. I'm actually the last person standing. Like I'm the last office, last person, just in case there was anything we needed to do. So it's a little austere. But also it's, seeing how everyone loved the finale, it's heartwarming. I mean, it would be nice to know where our future lies, but can't say we don't feel good about what we did. So
Absolutely. And just myself, literally just a few hours before coming on here to talk to you, I finally got around to seeing the finale myself. And
oh
it's wonderful. It's wonderful what you guys have done. And it's the outpouring of support from the fan base has been amazing. Like I've enjoyed the fandom that has come with the show equally as much as I have the show itself. It's just been amazing. So that must be just a wonderful experience for you guys, and
yeah.
particularly yourself, Tom. You've been so accommodating, reaching out to fans, and you're behind the scenes on Instagram and just the inner workings of the show. It's like a full education people are getting and what goes into making a show like this.
I'm pretty appreciative that like we even have any fans, and it's sort of like it kind of brings me pleasure. I mean, it's good for the show, but like also, as a fanboy myself, like being able to have that kind of access is sort of how it kind of came from. And thank God Seth and everyone else sort of lets me, for the most part, autonomously roll. So I mean, there's other people posting too, which is great, but I just happen to have been on set and have lots of images and lots of insider baseball because of what I do. So yeah, it's just one of those things that just brings me joy, and it brings other people joy, and we have a great fan base. I'm not just saying that. This isn't like some pitter patter. Like they're 99% the nicest bunch of people ever. So happy to do it.
Oh, that's awesome. And you just mentioned there you're a fan by yourself, so you always interested in science fiction and
Oh yeah,
these type of shows, yeah?
yeah.
And so was this always what you wanted to do growing up, like work in television and film? What was your background? Did you go in to study this, or did you come in via a different route?
No, actually, it's funny because I think I sort of wanted to be in some sort of media from being a kid. I mean, I made, I'm aging myself, but I made like movies with my dad's VHS camcorder, like space movies. I built like the space shuttle interior. I've said this before, so I don't mean to repeat myself, but I used to splice in like Moonraker because they had the best shuttle footage, because or like from stuff from NASA, and like my sister had a NASA licensed Cabbage Patch doll, and I would like make those movies, or I would do with my GI Joes. And then I got into theater. Basically, I did like summer stock and all that, and theater in school and set design. And when I got to college, I was working with my hands, and there was like an editor machine there. There was a Sony 900, and I just started editing, and I edited all my own shows that I worked on there, and I got my first job out of college at an ad firm, and that was it.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
what brought you on then to work on the Orville yourself? So how did you find your way working on this particular show?
Oh well, I was working for Tim Kring on this little show called Dig with Jason Isaacs, who I love dearly, and also Heroes Reborn, the reboot, and had a lot of creative input there. And the post producer saw my skill set, both with VFX and high budget stuff, and she recommended me for this. And I came here to Fox. I mean, not that it's here right now because we're sort of we're in hiatus mode, but it came in, all the storyboards were up, the office is buzzing, the set was being built, and I got to see all the scripts, and I was like, and I'm a Star Trek fan, and I'm a sci-fi fan, and really respected Seth's work, and obviously I love, like it was like so many things, like oh my god, I was born for this. And I made it through the round of interviews. My first one was with Brandon Braga, who I love dearly, and got through a bunch of rounds of interviews, and then I had my last interview with Seth and John, and we talked Star Trek, and I got the job.
Oh, that's amazing. And it's
Yeah.
like it's actually funny with the Star Trek stuff. We have some
Sorry, drinking some
questions.
water.
Oh yeah, no, he's always well. We actually have some questions that came into us from fans. So prior to this
Oh, sure.
recording, we just threw out for some Q&A, and it was actually, I have to give a big shout out to a fan group called Star Trek Era. I'm not sure if you've heard of the group, but they're an
Yeah, of
Irish
course.
Star Trek. Yeah, yeah, they've been great, and they really helped to spread the word out about this Q&A happening. So we have a couple of messages in from Facebook and Twitter. So I'll just go through some here. And again, I'll just preface
Can I,
apologies to anyone if I missed your question, and apologies if Tom's not in a position to answer any of the questions as
I'll
well.
do my best. You know, I was going to say is they've been one of like my earlier followers and follow back. So like I have like a soft spot for them. It's like I remember the OGs.
It was
So
gas
it's nice.
before I came on. I was telling people, obviously doing the interview, and the number of people here in Ireland who have said, "Oh yeah, we know Tom." It's like I expect to see you down in the pub. You're like, you've just been here every other
I
week.
mean, that sounds good. You know, just tell me when.
Ah, yeah, that's it.
Let's do it.
I'll tell you, March is the next show. Hint, hint there to the organizer.
Oh my God. All right. Keep
uh,
me in mind. I think I'll be you know, hopefully I'll be out of dailies by then.
awesome. Okay, so just into the first question. This comes from Ronan, who is one of the artists on the Star Trek era page.
Good
He just
dude.
wanted
Good
to.
dude.
Oh yeah. Ron's a class guy.
Yeah.
He says, how many extras were needed for that brilliant opening scene in Gently Falling Rain? And he also says, thanks, Tom, for a very special show. Reminds me of watching The Next Generation each week as a kid.
Oh, well, here's the thing that specific stuff was shot. We shot that in Chatsworth, and it was right before we were just all starting to talk about COVID. But needless to say, it was a bunch of us jammed in a studio up there with the guys in rubber masks. And I think it was like 150. I think there was. We did some crowd replication, but there was enough to for the single shots that the whole scene was filled. That didn't include crew, which was another 100, 200 people. But I think it was, gotta look, but it was at least 100, probably 150.
Wow.
And then we did the same thing later on, but we had to do it more strict under, like we shot all our crowd stuff in a limited amount of time during COVID, because it was like ramping up testing, you know, for like Bortus's singing and the wedding and stuff.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's even that assembly. It must have been just, I can only imagine, because like where I work in a college, we went virtual with everything for a live performance
Yeah.
to record something. It was, I can only imagine what it was like jumping through those hoops. So and
It's
what
nothing but hoops.
yeah, hopefully now things seem to be improving, thank God. So hopefully onwards and upwards.
Yeah.
And then we have here Aidan Leonard. Just wanted to say that this season has been amazing. Great stories with great acting and some kick-ass action too. One of the best.
Yeah.
One
These
of the
aren't
best.
questions.
Yeah. So there he is. He's sneaking in.
Very
He's
kind.
sneaking in compliments.
I know. I see that. He's buttering me up.
And then we have Adele Chatterbox Hennessy, who has to say that they can't wait for more. So they said exactly what they say is, I can't for the life of me figure out why I took me so long to get to this before. So Adele's been converted.
Hey, 3 years is a long time, and you know the show's had an evolution. So I don't judge anybody for catching it later on. As long as you catch it, catching it now is what's most important.
I'm jealous for those because they have it all now to start. You know,
I know.
they get the binge. One question here from Gary Matthew O'Toole. He says, Tom, could you talk about the use of the holodeck for Claire Isaac and having Mark out of costume? Was it a conscious decision to showcase a different side of Isaac after so much conflict and betrayal of the crew?
You mean for 301 or for is he just saying whenever?
I think whenever. I think it was when the first being used and afterwards as well. So
yeah,
just to, because it was great, his performance out of the Isaac costume as well
yeah.
was great, and the chemistry really came through
I think
also.
I think Seth, we all agree Mark's a great actor, and like the thing is that Mark portrays Isaac even without the suit. Like he doesn't. The suit is a plus, but you get to see his performance under the skin and letting him get to act, and also seeing his humanity. It was one of the things we realized it worked really well in Happy Refrain. I think Seth wanted to repeat that. And also like it's annoying being in the suit all damn day long. That thing's hot and uncomfortable, and but I think it was more opportunities to like let Mark Jackson do his thing, as is all of season 3 is an opportunity for letting the actors use their skill set by not having to cut for time. So
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And
I love Mark. I mean, I think he's a fantastic actor, and he's going to do great things.
yeah, I can't wait to see more from him as well.
Yeah.
And it reminds me a little bit. We actually have Peter Weller from RoboCop over for the
You
show
do?
here. Yeah. It's awesome,
Oh,
and it's I
where's that
remember.
panel? Where can I be on that panel? Where's that?
I'll send you a link.
Yeah.
But we I remember him before, how he studied I think it was mime artistry
He
to
did.
get the movement. And looking at Mark's performance, like as you mentioned, out of costume, he still does the tilt of the head or the arm. It's just that little nuance
Right.
goes
Yeah. The
so
amount of
far.
work he did for RoboCop, like I've looked at some like old, yeah, and it's impressive because RoboCop is cool because Peter Weller gave a good performance. I mean, otherwise it's just plastic. And Mark's kind of the same thing. I mean, there's no
Exactly.
emoting under that thing. But if we have actors that are like, Peter and Chad are incredibly good, getting full emotions out under like 10 pounds of great looking latex from Howard Berger and stuff. But like, that's a skill to emote through all this crap, for lack of, I don't know if I can say crap, but for all lack of a better word.
Yeah, no, that's no, it's awesome. And again, such the whole ensemble, like everyone just amazing. Like they all have hidden talents as well. It's like
Yeah.
they're either a martial artist or a singer, or it's just
No, like
amazing.
half of
It's
them can
phenomenal.
sing.
Yeah, it's
They're we got very lucky with this cast. I mean, Jay Lee's an amazing pianist. Obviously, Seth is like got 20,000 talents. But yeah, no, it's just a nice bonus.
the music as well to the show is awesome. You could hear the you can tell it's a live orchestra recording.
Yeah,
And was that something that Seth kind of is insistent
yeah.
on?
That's his jam. And he'll kill me for saying that's his jam because it's so colloquial. But we had a 90 plus, maybe it was up to 94 pi. I lost track, but serious heavy orchestra, everything. We have amazing composers, Joel McNeely, Kevin Koska, Andrew Cote, John Debney. We're very serious about the music, and that's passion. I think that's the secret weapon of the show, because we have just such firepower in these intimate moments. But yeah, it's sort of bringing back this tradition that is only really reserved for certain movies.
Yeah, it does.
Which is
Telling
also
you,
tricky under COVID.
yeah. Oh, yeah. True. I didn't even think of that actually
Oh
component. Now
God.
you say, yeah, it does make all the difference, though. Just speaking as a viewer, I never even really noticed, but then you just hear it, and it transforms you. It takes you to where the story's happening, adds
Yeah.
the atmosphere.
Well,
Um,
it allowed us to sort of just have moments where just like you could just look at the beauty or the moment or the intimacy. Even that shot in like Midnight Blue, where the ship comes in and then it rotates around and you see the base. We would never been able to do that on regular TV. We didn't have the 58 seconds to do it.
yeah, that's actually a good point with now on streaming with Hulu and Disney Plus, like
Yeah,
being able to say how short or long an episode is, that's really transformative
it is.
for TV. Yeah, no, it's awesome. We were spoilt this year by having the season.
Yeah. No, it's allowing the show to be what it wants to be was the most brilliant move Seth made,
Oh yeah,
amongst a million other great moves.
very true. We have another question here from Joe
Oh, sure.
Glacking. He just wanted to know if, and I suppose this is speaking towards the possible future, but in subsequent seasons, would there be more Ed Mercer focused or centric episodes, more from the captain?
I would say you'd have to ask Seth. I think he believes it's an ensemble show, so he should probably never get more airtime than anyone else. that's me just being on the show. But I mean, there's storylines of his that would probably need to get wrapped up. I would imagine, they're all Anaya and all that. So I would imagine he would get some time. And he's a great actor. He will never say it out loud, but like, him with that episode of him and Talea where they're stuck on the planet together. I mean, that's a great episode. So, and Seth, I don't know. You'd have to ask him, but like, I think he likes to use himself as a measured weapon. Like he was very good in that scene with Rena, where it's not easy to deliver a line. What is it? It's don't advertise tactical opportunism as pious morality. Like, it's not an easy line to deliver and sell it, but he's got that skill set. So I think there will be more of him, but I still think it's going to be everybody gets their episode or episodes.
We can't accuse Miss McFarlane of being a slacker anyway.
Man's not a slacker.
Yeah, so he wears many hats.
No. He wears a lot of hats, and thank God, or we wouldn't have the show.
God bless. Alan Rogers just wanted to say it's just so good. So thanks, Alan. And Wayne.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and Wayne Furlong as well just wanted to say it's the best sci-fi show currently on TV. What a season.
Tell him thank you.
Yeah, and what a cast. And thanks about Scott Grimes' singing talent. And that's true. The last season, Scott had great opportunities to showcase his acoustic guitar and singing. That was great.
Well, the man can sing, and so I think the idea was to give him a little bit more time to do it. But as long as it worked narratively,
Oh yeah. No, it was awesome. Yeah. Okay, and then I think we just have a few more here on.
Sure.
Whoops, on the old Twitter machine now. So let me just get this. Let me get this one up. Now, here's just me now, like an old man, clicking on all the different tabs here. So this one comes from Landis. They wanted to know what's the most time-consuming aspect of doing the visual effects. So, is there a particular stage in the pipeline that really that everyone's kind of like, oh, here we go?
Landis is hi Landis. He's very active on Twitter. It's all sort of consuming. I mean, the previous portion of it, trying to get the scenes locked down, Brandon and the whole team, like, there's a lot of back and forth between me and him, Brooke, and all that other stuff. I mean, there's never enough time to do the visual effects, and they can answer it better. But I would say getting the scenes locked, the action locked with previs is probably the toughest part. But there's some stuff where it's like it's hard to break what it's going to look like. Sometimes there's some shots that just need revisions and work and changes and some new ideas. I mean, I can't say enough good things about the VFX team, and they really pulled off. They killed themselves, and that's why the show looks like it does, because it shouldn't. Even with the time we had, we did 10 features. We shouldn't have made air, but somehow we did. And it's mainly thanks to them.
Yeah, and
so,
the praise online for the VFX team and
yeah.
Like it has been recognized. I think that's like
thank God.
Yeah, it's amazing. Congratulations to everyone.
Well, it's just such a thin, I think I don't know, it's just such a thin line to like between features and TV now. Just the fact that people are, I mean, everybody, sometimes people are unfair and they're like, they'll ding character animation and stuff when they shouldn't, but because we still are a TV show, but for the most part, I think people have been pretty supportive, and I'm glad Domino, we pulled that one off.
Yeah,
that was one off with my help, but
yeah, Domino was an amazing episode. Just top tier. I felt like I was in the cinema.
Yeah, but it all stems from Seth too, because he's the one who's got the vision and pushing everyone and trusts us. I mean, really, if you didn't have him working at such a eternal high level, maybe some corners would get cut. But he's really, he's the sharpest guy now.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's fantastic. And Kira and Zoppy Fitzgerald just want to know, with the novella that Seth released recently, Sympathy for the Devil, which is also an Audible as well, would be any chance for that to make it to the screen? Any chance that it could be adapted for season 4?
I think if we did season 4, there would be a small chance that we would still want to film it. It was going to be an awesome episode. I am still bummed that we couldn't pull it off. We were all going to go to, I mean, I can say it. We were going to go to Prague. We
cool.
we were going to shoot in World War II settings. I mean, I don't want to give too much about the plot away, but it was going to be, one of those, like, we drop it in cold and you have no idea what's happening. And, hopefully we'll get the opportunity if there's a new season to do it. I think you still probably could film it and see it in its realized form.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Hopefully now in the future.
Yeah.
And Sean O'Sullivan on that point just wants to say, when are they announcing season 4?
You tell me. Sooner rather than later. I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this to sound corporate, but like, get people to watch on Disney Plus. They being high ups at Disney and Hulu are doing this. They're being very supportive. So, when the problem is it's not a problem, but when you're playing at this level of IP, you deliver at that level. So we have to give the show a chance to do that. We're not My Dinner with Andre, or we're not just like two people talking in a room anymore. It's like, gotta get economics of television.
Yeah, it's the business side at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's behind every creative act.
Right. Not desire. People are nice. They love the show, but takes a lot to make the pews this pretty.
Exactly. And then we have JJ Joe had a question. With all the tech that is available today, is there any one thing that has fascinated you the most since working on the Orville? So is there any, I think that might be a production-based question as well. Is there any particular tech or software you've been using?
Well, I think, we had some stuff that Brandon, our VFX supervisor, developed that he's using, which I'll let him talk about more. But I think if we had shot later, we would probably have used the AR wall for some scenes. But when we started shooting, it was still, we actually did it first. We did what we call the watch out. Like, actually the image behind you is the watch out. That's the season 1. That's real. That's not composited.
Cool.
So that's an 11K pixel screen behind you. But it just wasn't practical for our pipeline. But I think if we shot a season 4, we would probably we wouldn't use it for everything. We'd still use blue and green screen, but we would probably use it for certain scenes, like, let's say, the New York, overlooking New York in the Union Tower or something, or a few alien landscapes.
Yeah, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Pluck wanted to know, why was it decided to shift the tone from a sci-fi comedy to just sci-fi? Not a complaint, just it's almost comes across as a completely different show.
I think, Seth, that was always his intention. I mean, as you can see, the finale had comedy, and like, Seth is capable, and the writers are capable of wielding comedy at any moment. I think they wanted to flex their muscles and basically grow the Riker beard, for lack of a better word. And, I think if we did another season, there would probably be plenty of comedy in it, but the season warranted some real stakes. And I think, I think it was always maturing. So, I mean, episode 7 with the Genesi was funny. I mean, Mortality Paradox was funny. I mean, it's just not so sticky, but if they wanted to, they could wield it at any second. So you might get more episodes like the finale if we did another season.
Awesome. Okay, awesome. And a happy Speedboard fan wanted to know, after the first episode, does anybody use the consoles behind Ed and Kelly's chairs?
Not really. I think it was distracting. Well, we do it on other ships. Like, if you see Azawa, we have people standing back there, but I think it got kind of distracting. So I think there was a decision to just not have dudes standing behind Ed and Kelly. I think it was one more of those things where it's just like there's a half a body behind you, and you're like, your eyes drifting to the schmuck who's like sort of playing with the fake buttons. It's nothing too crazy on there.
Awesome. And American Dissident wanted to know if any Star Trek producers, directors, or actors are especially large Orville fans. There's been a few people Star Trek related who've worked on the show as well.
Yeah.
So I suppose I assume the fans.
Well, we have our fan. I mean, we had, Frakes was director, Robbie McNeil, and I mean, obviously, Brown Braga is one of our writer executive producers. So, and he's the best. So, yeah, I mean, it's infused with Star Trek, but I think it's infused with a lot of genres and its own originality. And that we have our own IP. So, stories are kind of timeless. But yeah, I mean, we had Doug Drexler.
Oh yeah.
So, and he brought a lot of the Phoenix Wall, the back wall. That's all his doing.
Oh, cool.
So having him as a presence has been, man, I love the guy. It's been an amazing thing.
Awesome. Okay, well, we just have two last questions
Sure.
now. First, the penultimate one's from Sunshine. They wanted to know, are there any other unused episodes or ideas you knocked around in the writer's room you might consider releasing in the same way that you did with Sympathy for the Devil? So any other novellas? I know David A. Goodman had comics with Dark Horse there for a spell as well. So any other media?
I think you have to ask Seth and David, but I'm sure they had some ideas that have bounced around that would be used for another season. I think they wanted to tell the arc that they wanted to tell. Of course, with episode 11, well, it would have been episode 9. Like they had an 11 episode arc in mind. So even though Hulu did 10, they originally fine to have us do 11, except for COVID. But
yeah,
I don't know if there's a story sitting there, but I think there were probably storylines that they're probably interested in that either would come out as a comic or as a new season.
Awesome. And the last question comes from Amy, who wanted to know, this is probably my favorite question. What would an Orville version of the Mirror universe be like?
Oh my God. Well, I think everybody would have Bortus's mustache, probably.
Yeah, that would be it. That would sum it up perfectly.
I don't know. Yeah, I wonder what that would be. I guess everybody would have a sash. I don't know. I mean, it would be a different vibe because like the energy of the characters in our show is they're more complicated and flawed. So it's not such like a clean line. The mirror universe would probably be just the same. It'd be the same ship.
They'll turn out that they were the baddies.
Yeah, I would change the color of the lighting a little. I don't know. It's probably what we do.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to thank everyone online who sent in all the questions. Really appreciate that, and hopefully we have a good turnout here as well. Those who sent in the questions are present in the room as well. So thanks very much, and thank you as well, Tom, for everything.
Thanks for having me.
No, it's been awesome, and congratulations to you, to
everyone,
all your colleagues. It's been a real accomplishment. It's been like, seriously, everyone. I've never seen a negative thing about the show. It's amazing. It's like
you got to look. You got to start digging on Twitter. You can. All right. No, I mean, no. People have been. It's like honestly, it's like a 90-10 split. It's been great. I'm not. It's been, thank God. It's like great, and then one person, maybe 1.5 tweets that are, one tweet is like totally legit why they're dumping on the show, and then someone is like, oh, you got a thing. Okay, I see where you're coming from. This is a thing. Fine. You don't count.
That's great. Listen, thanks again. That's awesome. And listen, hopefully we'll be talking again for season 4. This is it.
That'd be great. Awesome. But thanks for this is a great way to sort of put a cap on the season. Thank you.
Thank you.